I can genuinely say this is like the biggest thing that I've seen people say, which is that like I was like faking my reaction to get famous. It didn't even cross my mind. Who the fuck cares about who's in the audience? No one's going to be looking at me. Genuinely, every reaction you saw, I was not even thinking about the audience. I wasn't even thinking about, you know, the camera or anything. That was just an organic how I felt in that moment. And, you know, I ended up looking like a bit of a clown because everyone else around me wants Devon to win. So when Levan wins and I'm screaming my head off and everyone else doesn't care, it's a little silly looking, but...
Come on, Larry. There you go. Come on, Levan. You get that. This is unbelievable. You know what I'm saying? Come on, don't give up, Larry. Go.
Go fuck! Давай. Сильнее, 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 сильнее. Я сам хочу, быстрее. Сильнее! Сильнее! Сильнее!
Jeff Dape has the biggest hands in arm wrestling. A heavy machine operator from Minnesota, Jeff was born with severely enlarged limbs, but was never diagnosed with any medical condition that could be responsible. Jeff peaked during his arm wrestling career at a relatively high level in North America, winning state as well as national titles. From interviews, it quickly becomes clear that arm wrestling was never a true priority for him. However, he does hold this illustrious title. This friendly rivalry between two of the absolute legends in arm wrestling is definitely also one of the longest lasting. John Brzenk and Ron Bath have been battling it out on the table for literal decades now, and have both been and still are amongst the elites of the sport. With the two having faced each other an innumerable amount of times over the years, it's hard to say what their exact win-loss record is. However, it seems Brzenk got the upper hand over Ron in a large majority of their matches, and that's why
fucking arm historian put a video, rise and fall of RVJ, but that's almost like my career is like complete. Like he went up and then he came down. That's like we can talk about maybe Alexei Vovoda.
By the way, he's in the chat by the way. The arm.
Yeah, you hurt my feelings with that video, arm historian, but I think I told you about that.
Did you actually go and watch it? Because I know that when we were in Ireland, you told me you hadn't watched it yet.
No, I didn't watch it.
You have to film yourself watching it. Okay, so we need a real reaction of you watching it as it happens.
Oh, my kids started fact checking me on that. They watched the arm historian one. They're like, I didn't know this. I didn't know this when I lived on a farm. I didn't know. And I'm like, fuck, man. Like, but the rise and fall title hurt me in my feels a little bit.
There we go. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, wherever you might be. Hope you're having a wonderful Sunday. How are you all doing out there in the arm wrestling world? Welcome to the Arm Historian Live. Every Sunday. Using chat. Owlboy, how you doing? Kings Move Social Club, what's up? Tony Rizzo. Vladimir Gramnik, what's up, man? As Alijan needs matches. Hope they come up with something quick. Yeah, I'd love to see more of Alijan. Let me know if the sound is okay. Playing around here with my setup a little bit. Arm Historian, you're doing incredible things for this sport. I appreciate you, Vladimir. JFT, what's up, Spacey? What's up, Spacey? Good to see you. The lucky ones in the house. What's up, the lucky ones? Check out their podcast if you haven't already. Tomer, hey Tomer. Arm Wrestling Fan, what's up, man? Says RVJ. Where you at? Where you at, RVJ? Being called out by Arm Wrestling Fan. Spinner, what's up, man? Good to see you. BTNT says, have you done a poll for if people prefer your face or the iconic arm? Just curious. No, I haven't done yet, but I might do that in the future. Yeah, I'm just giving this a go for some more streams, and then I'll reevaluate what I want to do. Also been wanting to go live during some training sessions. Could be interesting if people are interested in that at all. Hope everyone is doing great. Yes, indeed, Spinner. I hope everyone is doing great as well. So we might as well jump right into it, right? As you can see, we're doing East versus West 20 predictions, which is crazy that we're at the 20th edition already. I will be doing polls in the meanwhile. Hey, the Lucky Ones podcast, thank you for the super chat. I greatly appreciate it. Never required, but always appreciated. Says, excited for your predictions. That's good. You're gonna hear my predictions for the matches. I'm also gonna be running polls to get kind of an idea for where you guys are at. I think that's always useful to bring along, right? Because why else would you do it live if you're not gonna get the audience involved? Tomer says, I'm really excited for this event. I'm going to buy this one. This history will be made seeing Vitali flashpin Jerry 3 times. So I think we know who Tomer is going to vote for in the main card here. Let's talk about a couple of things first. The event is going to be the 1st of November, if I'm correct here, in Zurich, Switzerland, which is exciting. It's actually relatively close by, but unfortunately I won't be able to make it. They are going to have some special guests here, what many would consider the big three, in many people's minds at least, with Levan, Saginashvili, Ermes, Gasparini, and of course Devon, Larratt will all be making their way over to the event and will be special guests. Who knows? Maybe they'll have some kind of summit meeting and they'll set up some matches for future events. Because having Levan, Saginashvili, who is the #1 undisputed, and Devon, Larratt, who many would argue is the #2 currently, Ermes, Gasparini sitting at somewhere around that #3 spot. Maybe some people are not so sure about it, but I think a lot of people would consider these three to be kind of the top of the world right now. So yeah, really cool to have them there, even though they're not competing themselves. I think it's a good thing that they will be at the event. Arm Wrestling Fan says, I need my arm wrestling fix. Wish it was today. Yeah, I think a lot of people are kind of getting a little hyped for this event now, and with good reason. It's the first East versus West event since Brian Shaw helped put on the event quite a few months ago now. So yeah, I'm very excited too. The card looks very good in my opinion. And we're gonna go over each and every match of the event during this live stream. As I said, I will be running a poll too while we're doing that. Let me just get situated here so I can set up the polls easily. Tomer says, in my mind, the only one who has a chance currently is Vitali. Devon would beat Vitali, I think, but Vitali's style is better against Levan, I think. Interesting. Yeah, I think a lot of people will like kind of echo that sentiment and think that Vitali is, or possibly might be, the one to beat Levan in the end. We'll see. There's Azuri, what's up, man? Good to see you. Verbear in the house, aka Baby Arm, what's up, man? You're an unspecified username says, since when? There's no more hand talking on stream. What the fuck? I know it might be a little bit of an adjustment for some people, but yes, I did decide on showing up in my human form during the last couple of live streams. In part, and it's funny because the plugin I used to animate the arm on OBS doesn't work anymore. Now that's completely coincidental because it only stopped working when I started showing my human form on stream. But yeah, it is interesting. And this is one of the reasons that it's not on screen right at this moment. The Lucky One says, I'm all for human arm historian. I appreciate you, the Lucky Ones. Kingsmo says, the baritone of biceps arm historian. Yeah, I think I remember meeting Aussie arm wrestler and Uncle John in Ireland now. More than a year ago now, I believe. And yeah, they said they thought my voice was AI for some reason. They met me in real life. Of course, they know it isn't. Arm Wrestling fan says, how sad if Vitaly versus Levan would look identical to their last match, but they're both way stronger. Yeah, I think that's part of the reason, right? Why a lot of people point to Vitaly as a possible Levan Slayer. Because it was one of the best performances versus Levan within the last 5 years or something now. Something like that. So yeah, it's possible that he can do something there. Mr. Peanut in the house, what's up? As Dexter said, they are planning 8 numbered events for next year. Hopefully Levan is pulling maximum times 4 or 5. I would love that. Like, I've always been a big proponent of the top guys need to pull more. They need to put themselves out there more. Even though they can't always be at the top of their cycle or at the peak of their abilities, I think it's in everybody's best interest if the top guys would pull more, even if that means that they would sometimes lose versus someone that perhaps is at his peak on a certain day. I still think it would be good for the overall arm wrestling world. That's my opinion, you know. You're free to disagree. Spacey says, but who is the tenor of tendons? Good one too. Exception is if he starts to pull with the left hand. I'd love to see Levan pull with the left hand. Honestly, I would. Let's get right into the matches here. I do need to be wary because I do need to pick up my girlfriend at a certain point. But yeah, that's not for a little while here. Let's pull up the matches, shall we? We'll start first with our female match. I'm just doing them in the order that they appear on the website. You can look it up for yourself if you want. It should be the correct order, or at least very close to it. I'll start a poll here. Who do you guys have? Is it Snishana, or if I'm butchering that name, or is it Elena? Give me your opinions in the chat. You'll see a little window pop up normally, otherwise you'll have to look for it a little bit and just tap the name of the one you think will win, and then we can all follow along here on live stream. Let me pull that poll over myself here. There we go. So yeah, this match, I'll give you my own personal opinion, which is going to be very brief because I'm not super familiar with both these ladies. I think it might potentially be a close one. It's definitely one of the lesser known names here on the card, but I think this one might be a close one. I'll probably give the edge here to Snishana, honestly. And that's only based on, I looked, and I can pull that up for you guys too. I took a look at their Instagram pages and kind of what they've done before and their other social media accounts, and went off that. And honestly, like I'll pull it up for you guys. One moment here, so you can follow along. Here we go. So yeah, this is the Instagram page of Snishana. I'm sorry, that name is killing me here. Babayeva, I'll just call her that. Looking very strong. Here's like a comparison of the two. Honestly, they're both looking good. I'm gonna face each other on the left hand. It says here Elena Persson and Babayeva are ready to collide. Two of Europe's strongest women face off to prove who truly rules the left arm. So yeah, lucky one says she won world's 60 kilogram lift. So there you go. There you go. The comments on this one. We went chest to chest as kids, arm to arm. We never did that body leaning crap. One of the most prominent comments you'll see when people not in the arm wrestling world actually see an arm wrestling video. They'll call out people are actually leaning their bodies into it, which, you know anything about arm wrestling at all, you'll know that's perfectly legal. But yeah, looking very strong. Yeah, let's take a look at Elina here. East versus West debut, of course. Swedish, I believe. She's seen here with the Swedish women's arm wrestling team. Kind of the top girls in Sweden. Yeah, it's gonna be a good battle, I think. And the chat kind of reflects that, as I see. It's kind of equal with Miss Babayeva edging ahead slightly. Make left hand arm wrestling great, says Tomer. Justice for the left hand arm wrestling scene. Yep, it could use some love for sure. I wouldn't be opposed to that. Seeing a little more left-handed matches every now and then. Just to get some of the top names out there more. Would be great. Just sneeze Anna. I'll say sneeze Anna from now on. Hey Latrusso, what's up? Yes, both ladies look good, says Latrusso. Yes, they're both looking very strong. Arm wrestling fan says this is right arm, right? Is it? I think it's left. Yeah, it is a left arm match in the 60 kilogram category. Although it's interesting because, like, looking at this poster, it says left arm featherweight 60 kilograms, and then below it says 52 kilogram weight cap. So is that like a typo, or is that something I'm missing here? Might be very possible. Just a quick message back to my girlfriend here. She's taking the train. So it'll be quite a while, and I'm picking her up from the train station probably. It's supposed to be 52 kilograms, is the lucky ones. Interesting, okay. Yeah, it is quite weird then that they're putting like left arm featherweight 60 kilograms and then below that 52 kilogram weight cap. Maybe they just decided amongst each other that's like 52 is gonna be the weight cap. Tomer says, from my point of view, pun intended, I think watching arm wrestling on the left is nicer. I think it just looks better. Interesting, interesting. Not enough info on either. I get you, Spinner, I get you. Yeah, I think we can call this one here. Right now, the poll is still pretty equal, but Elina has pulled ahead slightly. So yeah, I think Babayeva will take this, but I might be wrong here. As you can see, chat is equally divided, it seems, but giving the slight edge to Elina here. So we'll move on to the next one, which is F.A. Comic versus Manuel Taglia. Yeah, I'm very interested to see what you guys have here. Yes, I have F.A. Comic. That's just me. I know Manuel is very strong. Both of these guys pull at WAF quite regularly, I believe. But yeah, I do have F.A. Comic in this one. But it's not impossible for me for Manuel to pick up a win here. And I think it'll be like a running theme throughout this event, where most matches might be quite close. Which is a good thing, right? I think, at the end of the day. So get your votes in here. We can take a look. FA Comic versus Manuel Battaglia. I think these two guys are facing in the super heavyweight division on the right arm, so it's 115 kilogram plus. Basically open, right? You want to call it that. Yeah, Manuel, one of the strongest pullers to come out of Italy and Europe as an extension of that. And FA Comic is like a proven force kind of by this time. He has a little bit of ups and downs. I don't know if they're injury related necessarily. Yeah, but he has had a bit of up and downs in his results lately. Though I still give him the edge here. And it seems like chat is largely agreeing there. Rap Transforms, what's up? Says, hello guys, welcome back to Concrete Elbow. Concrete Elbow reference in chat here. Manuel, winning would be great celebration indeed. I wouldn't mind it. I think he has the potential to do it. I think he has the tools to do it. It's just a matter of showing up in great form on the day itself. Potentially another good match, I think. I don't mind this one at all. It seems like chat is kind of as divided on this one as they are on the previous one. Does Concrete Elbow still make videos as Latrusso? I honestly don't know. Haven't had a lot of time to catch up on arm wrestling content, although I do try to pick up on some videos here and there, but he's been off my radar for quite a while. I know he's had some difficulties with strikes against his channel. So yeah, I know he started a different channel a couple of times already. So I have no clue if he's actually like still running a channel, an active channel right now. The weight class for this one is the super heavyweight class, so that's an unlimited weight class, I do think, right? Because I think it could be a little clearer here. It says 115 kilogram plus, so yeah, no, I think it's quite obvious, right? Super heavyweight on the right arm, 115 kilogram or 254 pounds plus. So anything goes, in my opinion, in this class. Any weight goes. Latrusso says, I managed to no longer get his videos recommended, thankfully. There's people that derive a great deal of pleasure from his videos, so must be doing something right. His active channel is Canrit Alba. Oh, okay. Makes sense. Manuel is 150 to 160 kilos. Yeah, when I saw him on WAF before, quite a big boy. So that makes a lot of sense to me. In the meanwhile, you guys are having Manuel here as the favorite over FA, although it is relatively close. See if I'm missing some stuff here. Concrete has drifted to strength sports in general, I think. Mainly arm wrestling, but he does post about half-Thor and stuff like that. Interesting. I think it's very difficult as a YouTuber to change your niche. Like if the majority of your audience decides not to watch a video on a certain topic, YouTube will not recommend it. YouTube will kill it in its tracks. So if you can make a video that's appealing to arm wrestling fans, that's not about specifically an arm wrestling related topic, then you've potentially got a winner on your hands and you can kind of cross over into other niches, right? Which, yeah, you know, I'd like to do that at some point to a certain degree, but I think YouTube makes that very difficult for a creator to do, and there's still a ton of arm wrestling stories that are not told yet, you know what I mean? There aren't like any great videos on a great number of topics, so still a lot more like to pull inspiration from, right? About weight classes, I rewatched MMT versus Voivoda recently, and I didn't realize that Voivoda was 116 kilograms. About 30-minute water cut from the 115 kilogram category. Do you think he could be a top guy at 115? Right now, no. I don't think so. I don't think Voivoda is quite there yet, and I think he himself felt that. Probably one of the reasons. There's a whole bunch of reasons you can think of, like geography-related reasons you can think of why he isn't pulling. But I think Voivoda probably felt that himself when he last pulled on the big stage, that he wasn't quite there yet. A Prime Voivoda, that's another case. I know Prime Voivoda was heavier than 116, and the Voivoda that faced Michael Todd wasn't exactly Prime Voivoda, I would say, in my opinion. That was already during his comeback. He had been out of the sport for quite a while when he faced Michael Todd, if I've got my Voivoda history straight. But I think we can call this poll here with Manuel pulling ahead quite comfortably over FA, so guys disagreeing with me here, which is totally fine, of course. I'll end the poll and we'll move on to the next match. Contrary to what I usually do, I'll try to keep this going at a decent pace, as I've actually prepared a little bit here for today. Our next match is Pietro Margarint versus Yoshinobu Kanai. I'm super excited to see Yoshinobu Kanai, and I think he might even have this match. I'm calling it for Yoshi. Part of that is wishful thinking, just because I want to see Yoshi win and compete even more and climb the ranks here. Maybe have another shot versus Todd Hutchings, who knows. But yeah, I love me some Yoshi, and I hope he can sneak the win here, although Margarint is never an easy task, I think, for anyone. They're facing on the right arm in the light heavyweight category, which means they will be pulling at 105 kilograms maximum, which is about 230 pounds. So yeah, let me know, chat. Who do you have in this match? Margarint? Or is it Kanai? Let me know. Get your votes in the chat. I'd love to see it. Latrousseau says, I thought Yoshi was retiring. Apparently not. Apparently not. Must have had a change of mind. He was retired before, right? To a large degree. I know he still pulled in Japan from time to time, but no real high stakes or no real big stages. But yeah, Yoshi getting his comeback here, and it seems like Chad is kind of agreeing with me here, with Kanai getting 100% of the vote so far. Our most decisive result by far up till now. Yeah, get your votes in. You'll see it in the chat window. If you're on mobile, you can just open the chat window and it should be there somewhere. If you're on desktop, it's even easier. Definitely see it then. It's interesting because if I look at my analytics, I see that about 35% of people are on mobile, and then about 25% of people are on PC, and then like a very big chunk of people are on their TV. They're actually watching on their TV, which is crazy. Never expected so many people to watch on their smart TV, but it actually makes sense now that I think about it. I don't know if those same stats go for my live streams, but yeah, they are valid for my long form videos. Tony Rizzo says Beast of the East. Nice. Yeah, I hope Kanai does really well. Since Chad is sharing that sentiment to a degree. Tomer used to watch on his laptop, but now he watches on his phone. There you go. The Lucky Ones podcast says, I really like Yoshi. Yeah, I think he's one of those very interesting characters. Part of it is because he's from Japan, a nation that is like woefully underrepresented in arm wrestling, especially compared to their actual abilities and their history with the sport. Like historically speaking, arm wrestling has always been huge in Japan. Always been a really big deal there. So yeah, it is quite nice to see someone actually represent Japan. But other than that, Yoshi is also just a character that leaves everything on the table, right? He always goes for it 100%. He's not afraid to like exert himself on the table, let's say. I'm on mobile, laying in bed, about to go sleepy time. I hope you have a good sleep, Larratt Rousseau. Actually received quite a bit of comments, especially on my longer videos of I don't take this the wrong way, but I fell asleep to this video. Which I take that as a compliment. It means people are watching my videos and before they go to sleep, which is nice. Sir Peanut says this is a good match for Yoshi. He has the ability to make use of every foul and restart. Also very true. We saw Yoshi do some really smart pulling in his last match. So yeah, looking forward to seeing them both on the table. Got my fingers crossed for Yoshi mainly. I just ate 10 ounces of beef jerky to get massive, says Casey Jones. I hope your digestion can handle that well, Casey. Hope you have a strong stomach. I think we can call it here for this match. With Kanai winning very comfortably in the polls here. Seems like a lot of people have Kanai as the favorite, which I like to see, of course. We'll move on to the next match. Our fourth match now, which is in the right arm lightweight category, which means up to 77 kilograms or 170 pounds. And we have Mindaugas Terasaitis, the GOAT of arm wrestling, right? Versus Daniil Ustinov. Very formidable puller. I have Mindaugas here, but I do think Ustinov might surprise a lot of people. Because I'm guessing a lot of people have Mindaugas as favorites, although that might be different in like circles that are more familiar with the sport, right? With the minutia of the sport. So, who do you guys have? Is it Terasaitis or Ustinov for you guys? Put your votes in the chat. Love to see your opinions on this one. The weight here, Larratt Rousseau, is 77 kilograms. Parasitis will win, says Tomer. I believe Ustinov is improving fast. I'm going for him, says Vladimir. Like to hear it. Get some underdog votes in there. Because, yeah, my prediction is that Terasaitis will run away with this poll. 100% the GOAT, says arm wrestling fan. Hey, the Drew, how you doing, man? Good to see you. Good to see you, good to see you. The GOAT vote. Funny, by the way, I forgot to mention, I'm in talks with a supplements company that might want to sponsor the channel in one way or another. So yeah, you might get bombarded with some arm historian red ads before you know it, guys. Although, to be fair, they sent me samples and I do have to test the product and look into it and do some research on it before I'll actually try to strike a deal with them and endorse it potentially. But yeah, very exciting indeed. Isn't Ustinov a lighter guy? I believe he pulls in minus 70, something like that, usually. Well, I'm not quite sure. But right now it's a 77 kilogram per match. So I'm assuming they'll both come in at around that weight, right? Hey, thanks, the lucky one. I appreciate it. The only supplement I need is white Monster energy drinks. Those are the 0 calorie ones, right? Or the low calorie ones. I've had those a couple of times. I like Monster. I don't consume it too often, but I do like them. More of a black coffee drinker if I do choose to ingest caffeine in any form. Right now, Terasaitis is winning this poll very convincingly as predicted, with 94% of the votes going to Tarasatis. Yeah. Kind of what we thought, right? I think we can all agree that Tarasatis coming in as the big favorite here in this match. But, like I said, Ustinov might surprise us here. Wouldn't mind it. I don't care about calories, I just like the flavor, and apparently they are magnet for goth baddies, so win-win. Yeah, can't go wrong there, right, Tomer? That Giannis versus Min match was awesome. Yeah, I agree. Giannis is one of those people that's technically proficient enough to give Tarasatis a really hard time there. Casey Jones echoing the goth baddie sentiment here. Seemingly a lot of God fans in chat. I think we can call this poll, it seems pretty obvious, 94% Tarasatis, kind of what I think that Tarasatis will win. But, like I said, Ustinov not without a chance for at least one pin, I believe. We'll see. Nevertheless, good match, I believe. Next one. Take a look here. David Daryakan versus Kamil Jablonski. I think this is a very interesting match. It is in the super heavyweight category, so both athletes will be coming in as heavy as possible. Now, it is on the left arm, keep that in mind. I'm thinking if that changes my opinion. No, I don't think so. I think David has this one. I truly believe that. David Daryakan on the left arm. If he comes in like in tip-top condition, I think he will have this one. Although, you know, you can never count out Kamil because of like the X factor of his moves, right? But in my opinion, and I'll see if it's a controversial take or not, but in my opinion, I think Daryakan has this in the bag. He's just really impressed me on the left arm. Going toe-to-toe with Morozov in that one match has still left quite an impression on me. So get your votes in the chat. The poll is now up and running live. Kaleas, sorry for butchering that, says Daryakan here. Arm wrestling fan has Kamil as the winner. Casey Jones says, I've been wrist flexing kettlebells while I drive to get massive. Sounds like a potential road danger there, like a road hazard. I know, like, there's a lot of footage of like guys who have like bands on the sides of their car, so while they're driving, their other hand is like doing wrist curls on the bands. I don't know about that. I won't be doing that anytime soon, I think. I am ramping up my arm wrestling training, but I don't think I'll go quite that far yet. Close one, says Tony Rizzo. David favored, but rooting for Kamil. Great match. Yeah, I love this match too. Daryakan will win easily. It will be like Kamil Morozov match. Easy win, says Tomer. Yeah, that's a comparison I think a lot of people will look at. Just because you've got some overlap there in who faced who. Spinner says going for Daddy. The ref's gonna sort out Kamil's shoulder on start. Yeah, might play into it somewhat. I know when Kamil pulls in these big matches, there's always a lot of like people dissecting every minute of it afterwards, trying to catch Kamil on some false starts or over the center falls. And I do have to admit, like in general, I think with pressers, your over the center elbow fall is one of the least called falls in arm wrestling. Just in general, like what I've seen in tournaments and stuff that I've entered myself, like people going over the center with their shoulder, sometimes just isn't called if it's not like super flagrant. You know what I mean? So yeah, I guess some of it will depend on that. The outcome of this match will, to a degree, depend on that, of course. It will be interesting to see. I think they did a great job with like the matches we've seen so far. I think most of them are really good matchups and have the potential to be close matches. So yeah, I do love that about this event so far. Tomer says, reminder that Morozov almost lost to Daria Khan. Morozov lost the first 3 rounds, but Daria Khan got injured. It was best of 3, then he won, but best of 6, so Morozov won. Daria Khan is top 3. Yeah, I do agree. That match was very close, and I always like think back to that match as like one of the better matches. I believe it was the King of the Table match, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, loved that one. But yeah, unfortunately, Daria Khan did get injured in that match, but it was a real dogfight up till that point. Daria Khan seems to be pulling ahead here in the polls, I think we can call it here. With Daria Khan taking the slight edge over Kamil Jablonski, which is kind of how I feel in this match. I think Daria Khan will win this match, but Kamil always has the potential to cause a little bit of an upset, right? Let's see. Let's go on to the next one. I'm actually going through them at a decent pace as we're reaching the halfway point of the event with Serhiy Kalinichenko versus Matt Mask. I think people are gonna have Serhiy as the favorite, especially considering it's a left arm heavyweight match, so 115 kilograms, that's normal, but it is on the left arm. So if I'm not mistaken, Matt Mask's left arm, not super. I don't think Matt Mask's left arm is quite at the level of his right arm, but is Serhiy's. What do you think of Kalinichenko's left arm? In my opinion, Kalinichenko is coming in as the favorite in this match. That's me. I think a lot of people will be looking at Matt Mask's latest couple of matches, which I believe he lost. So yeah, that's my opinion. I'll get your votes in chat and we'll take a look here. Kalina 65-35 says Vladimir. I think that's a pretty sensible take. Kalina's left isn't as good either, that makes sense. Matt has a butter arm, he will lose his Tomer. Harsh words from Tomer there for Matt Mask. Yeah, I do think Kalina probably the favorite in this match, as I said. Although, you know, I'd love to see Mask do well. I'm just happy he's on the card. Like these two guys, both of them are very entertaining characters in my opinion. Both of them carry a lot of the matches they're in. So having them together in a match, great. Yeah, I think potentially from an entertaining standpoint, really good. Hopefully Matt doesn't wait 2 rounds to actually start pulling like he did versus Irakli. Is that Latrusso? The lucky one says, I've never bet against Matt, even if I think he will lose. It's one of my favorites, if not my main favorite. Yeah, I love me some Matt Mask as well. Cool guy. Very approachable too. Like the couple of times that I've talked with him, he has been very nice and very willing to offer up his time to help with stuff. So love me some Matt Mask. Looking forward to this match like a lot. It seems chat has Kalinichenko here as the favorite, although relatively close, but like I said, might be the hard speaking to a degree, because I know Matt Mask, a big crowd favorite here. Mask I like, but a one-trick pony, says Spinner there. Yeah, I agree for the most part. He's been trying some new stuff lately, but yeah, that is true. That is very true. I'll call the poll here with 57% of you thinking Kalinichenko, 60 at the drop of the hat here, right at the end coming in. 60% for Kalinichenko here in this match. So interesting. It's kind of what I thought, but Matt Mask always a crowd favorite, so it makes sense that he does have some votes too, you know. Just for a wishful thinking, I would probably vote on Matt Mask as well. Let's move on to the next one here. I do have to keep a slight eye on my phone here so I don't miss my girlfriend's. Apologies for this, guys. Okay. Next match, Oleg Zog versus Toms Rositz. Good match. Left arm, we've seen this match before. Left arm, obviously. I don't think Oleg is going to be pulling on the right anytime soon. We've seen this match before on the WAF. And Toms, or Choms, or however you pronounce it, actually put up a good fight versus Oleg. As most people are probably aware of, Oleg Zog hasn't quite reached that same height that he was at before his accident, I do believe. But he's getting there. Slowly but surely he's getting there, in my opinion. So yeah, I am really interested in seeing what you guys have to say about this match. I personally have Zog as the favorite. I think he also came out on top in their WAF matches in the end. But like I said, don't count Rositz out. Really good. Really good. I believe he's a Latvian from the training camp of Ray and Co, Ray and Yanis. Tomer says, I don't know if Oleg had recovered, but I've been watching some old videos and his injury was bad. If he's near his best, then he'll win. But I just don't know if he's recovered. Hope he gets better. I agree. I don't think one can ever fully recover from an injury like that, an accident like that. Emotionally as well as physically. I don't think you'll ever fully recover from that, but that doesn't mean that you can't come back stronger in a different way, right? You can always adapt your pulling style to deal with the permanent injuries your body has sustained and work around that, get stronger in different angles, and at the end of the day, in a way, be stronger or a better puller than you were before. So yeah, I hope Zog gets to that point in the not too distant future. Yep, Toms looks badass, he's looking in really good shape, and I definitely think he has a chance here. Tomer says his father passed away in that accident. I can't imagine the amount of self-blame you would have thinking. Yeah. Interestingly, there's like different sources saying different things about who was driving and stuff. I don't think that's super important. At the end of the day, I don't really think that's worth discussing. But yeah, looking into it before, there are like different sources saying different things on that. Yeah, memory loss, so he thankfully probably doesn't have anything about it. Yeah, I hope so. I can't imagine it wouldn't leave any psychological scars as well as physical scars. But of course, yeah, it's a tragedy, and I wish him and his family all the best in dealing with that tragedy, because I'm sure the ripple effects of what happened there are still like, they still feel them strongly to this day. You can't not, right? Yeah, Tomer, I've seen a lot of speculation on that, and as far as I can tell, I haven't found like a reliable source that actually places anyone at the wheel. I've seen different names come up as who was actually driving. But like I said, I don't think that's particularly relevant, especially in the scope of this live stream, you know what I mean? Or to his arm wrestling ability necessarily. But yeah, a tragedy for sure, but Oleg seems to be doing well on the table, and I hope he continues to do so, as chat thinks he will here, with Oleg Zog being the winner here, the predicted winner at 79% of the votes, according to you guys. We'll end that there, and we'll go on to the next match here, which is Gabriela Vasconcelos versus Barbora Bachiova. Our second female match of the night, also our last one on the left arm in the open weight category. For the world title, it is a title match, one of the few title matches actually on the card, if I'm not mistaken. So who do you have? I think a lot of people consider these two ladies to be the absolute pinnacle of female arm wrestling. The number 1 and number 2. And that might be on both arms, you know what I mean? I know both of them are quite capable and potent on the left arm too. So, yeah, looking forward to seeing what you guys think about this one. Tomer still has Jacques winning. Yeah, we will find out Saturday, says the Lucky Ones podcast. Very true. Very true. Their last match was awesome. I think Gabby will win this time. Yeah. I hope so. You know what I mean? Not because I don't think Barbora is deserving of the win, because she is. But I do hope Gabby wins this one just to kind of shake up the feeling of like Barbora being this Levan of female arm wrestling, right? And just the optics of the match. There's such a height difference and like kind of a frame difference between the two. They both have very different builds, that I think just the optics of Barbora defeating Barbora being defeated by Gabriella is more interesting, kind of. So yeah, I do think Barbora comes in as the slight favorite in this match, but yeah, Gabriella definitely has the potential to win here, right? See what Chad thinks about that. Chad seemingly has Vasconcelos as the winner of this match, with 62% of the votes going to Gabby here. Anthrax Baru says Gabby is a beast. Indeed she is. She is for sure. Lat Rousseau says Barbora has lost rounds, so not quite Levan, but probably as close as it gets. Yeah, for sure. Levan, I don't know, when was his last loss? Like 2018 or something? Yeah. You'd have to go back quite a while to find Levan losing. In the meanwhile, Barbora did get a couple of losses in the more close past, more recent past. Pulling versus someone with a much shorter arm can be tricky for the taller puller. Yes, indeed. As I've found out the hard way plenty of times myself. Pulling smaller people with shorter levers can be quite tricky. Yeah, definitely need to know what you're doing, especially if they do possess the arm strength. Yeah. But right now it seems like you guys have Gabby here as the favorite, which is a little surprising to me, but good to see, I think. Gabby left-handed for the win. She's so much more established on the left. That gives her the edge on paper at least. Okay, that's fair to do. Like going in on the left arm, maybe I'm overestimating Barbora. Sabin Badulesco is the true Levan Slayer. Never forget his name, yeah. Made many a reference to that one in my videos. Sabin being one of the last people to defeat Levan. Although I do think technically not the last person. I do think in that very same tournament, Gennady also had a win over Levan. And even some other guy. So I'm not quite sure on the exact timeline there. But I do think Gennady had a win over Levan after the Sabin rounds. But I could be mistaken, of course. But yeah, a lot of people bring up Sabin Badulescu as the true Levan Slayer. I'll interpol here with Vasconcelos taking the win quite comfortably with 66% of the vote, according to you guys. And move on to the next match, which will be in the right arm, on the right arm in the light heavyweight category between Oleg Petrenko and Nugo Shikadze. Who do you guys have here? I have Oleg here. I do believe Oleg is not necessarily the number one, right? Because you still have Devon kind of in that category too. I think if you want to count Devon. But definitely up there in this category. There's quite a few other people too, I think, that are like contenders. But yeah, it will be really interesting to see if Nugo can do anything with Oleg. And yep, how we'll do. A lot of people, I think, will have Nugo even as the favorite going into this match, just because he did quite well with... he's doing quite well lately, and he did quite well against Matt Mask. Like, Matt didn't stand a chance, I think. So I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of people have Chikadze as the favorite here. Although I think I do still have Petrenko, personally. Oleg has something to prove, says the Drew. Lagia, how you doing, Lagia Arm? Says Nugo will scream at least once. Yep. Pretty safe bet. Nugo will use his powers and win, says Latrusso. Tomer says very good match, but I can't imagine Nugo filling out his frame with quality weight. It's weird, right? Because obviously Nugo isn't as ripped as some other people, but still, like, able to generate this very impressive amount of power in a relatively small frame. So yeah, main event material, I kind of agree. Oleg, shutout favorite, says Tony Rizzo, but he's a Nugo fan. The Lucky One says, I love Nugo, want to see him against Devon at 105 if he wins. I know Nugo has kind of been calling for that match too. Who knows, might happen, right? At some point. Seems chat has Petrenko in this one, which I think I'll end the poll. I have to kind of not rush through them, but I have to kind of go through these matches at a decent pace. Like I said, I do have someone to pick up in a little while. So yeah, we'll end the poll there with Petrenko winning out according to you guys and move on to the next match. Looking forward to this one, really I am. The next match, which is match number 10, we have 3 matches to go, is in the right middleweight category, the 95 kilogram category, a world title. A good old match, as some people will say. Todd Hutchings, Godzilla versus Irakli Zirakashvili, Irakli Skinny Jeans Zirakashvili. It's funny, in the last tournament, which was officiated, the last tournament I attended personally, which was officiated by Risto, like the head ref, one of the head refs of WAF, Risto. He was quite adamant about pullers not wearing jeans when pulling. I know there was one guy who was wearing a jeans, and Risto didn't want a lot of footage out there of that guy because he might get in trouble with the powers that be. I hope I don't get him in trouble by saying this, but I'm sure I won't. But it is quite funny. No jeans in official tournaments, in official WAF tournaments. Confirmed. Lagia having Todd there. Todd shutout favorite, says Tony Rizzo. Yeah, I do have Toddzilla in this match. I remember at WAL everyone wore jeans. Yes, WAL seemed to have less of an issue with what their athletes wore. I think they even encouraged the use of jeans, if I'm going by the actual matches and people's wardrobes. Seems like most people so far have Toddzilla in this matchup, which I do think Todd will take this match. What about Irakli versus Yoshi in the future? What do you guys think of that one? Depending on how Yoshi does here. I heard Uncle Todd is training his biceps, so Irakli is toast. Damn. Toddzilla training the biceps. It's a rarity. You guys mainly seem to have Toddzilla in this match, which I can't blame you for. Like I said, I do agree Toddzilla probably has this match. Like, I'm not super opposed to seeing this match again, just because it has potential to be a relatively close match, you know what I mean? There are some chances, I think, for Irakli. But yeah, like, I think after this match we're good on the Godzilla versus Zirakashvili matchup for the foreseeable future, right? I was hoping for Petrenko versus Todd at MW and Nugo versus Yoshi at light heavyweight for this card. Yeah, wouldn't have been bad. I wouldn't have minded that one either. There's a lot of good matches to set up in those categories for sure. Irakli seems to be losing and blaming the ref, so I guess he doesn't think he did anything wrong and he won't change his style, so he will lose again. Might be the case. Might be the case. Maybe the Georgians cook something up and Irakli will be able to take the win, but right now it looks like Godzilla is the heavy favorite in our chat, in the Arm Historian chat, so we can end the poll here. Move on to our penultimate match here with Dave Chafee versus Ibrahim Sagov. Yeah, who do you guys have here? Like, this one to me is actually pretty difficult. Coming in, Dave Chafee coming in at the in the 115 kilogram class. It is a world title on the right arm, so the potential is definitely there for a good match, I think. Who do you guys have? Is it Sagov? There's a little typo there. Is it Sagov or is it Chafee? Get your votes in the chat. I'd love to see who you guys have in this match. Really hard for me to call. I think Dave probably is a pretty safe bet if you want to go with the favorite. I do think that's Dave, but like Sagov can... It's just really close to me. I think this match can go either way at the end of the day. Vladimir says 58-42 in Ibrahim's favor. So yeah, very close match according to people in chat too, it seems. Arm Wrestling Fan has Dave here. 50.18% for Dave, says Lagia. Interesting choices. It's a close one, but Tony Rizzo has Sagov here, yeah. I do agree, this is like one of the closest matches, so it's good that they're putting it as like their semi-headliner in a way. Good match. I'd love to see if Chafee can like go on this incredible tear in the 115 class and have kind of a rejuvenation of his arm wrestling career. I would love that. So yeah, hopefully he'll be able to conquer the very impressive looking Sagov, because let's face it, Sagov has been doing really well, looks extremely strong, especially for that weight class. So can't wait for this match. A close one. Endurance might play into it, that's true, Vladimir, it might. It seems whoever has less hair wins. Is that Tomer? Yeah, who knows? Maybe it's... Don't like people with higher levels of testosterone have less hair or are more prone to hair loss. Might be some kind of correlation there, right? Easy money for the win for the Drew here. It seems like most people have Chafee as the winner, with 67% of you voting for Dave to take this match. Remember, try and vote with your mind. If you want to vote with your heart, that's fine. Sometimes I do it too. I use the slight edge to an athlete just because I want them to win. But try and be honest with yourself. Who do you actually think will take the match here? Like I said, I'd love for Dave to go on this incredible tear in the 115 class and just dominate everyone. Would love that, personally. Nat Rousseau says, based on past matches, Uncle Todd beat Sagov and Reno also did, so Dave should win. Yep. Yeah. He's happier being at this lighter weight too, adjusted his diet and without effort dropped the extra pounds. Very good to hear. I know Dave has been struggling with a lot of health issues throughout his career, so it would be great if he would come in at tip-top shape in the 115 class for sure. I'll close the poll here with Chafee taking the lead over Sagov according to you guys' predictions, with 57% of the votes going to Dave Chafee. Really interesting. Before we get to the last match here, guys, I want to take a quick shout out to thank our wonderful members. I hope I'm using the up-to-date one here. But yeah, I greatly appreciate you guys. Just wanted to get it in there because a lot of you guys have been like members for an extremely long amount of time. I know this is a little outdated because some people on here have been members for longer than 1 month that are on here as 1 month, but there's people here that have been with the channel for almost its conception. So yeah, all of you going that little extra mile, I greatly appreciate it. But yeah, with that out of the way, let's go to our final match here, which is Terry Caderet versus the Russian ice road trucker Vitaly Larratt. I've done this poll on my channel. I'll take a quick look at what the results are now exactly of that poll, and in the meanwhile I'll run the same one right here in live chat. Who do you guys have? Larratt or Caderet? Personally, I think Vitaly will take this match. But that being said, I wouldn't be super surprised if Jerry gets the upset. I think it's definitely possible. Take a look here at the poll I put on the channel. Couple more votes than in here the live chat, so it might be a little more representative of Arm Historian viewers in general. 72% of people have Vitaly winning, and 28% of people have Terry Caderet winning. Now, I'll pull it up here for you guys so you can follow along. There are some comments under this, and I'll read a couple out so you can kind of get a feel of what people are thinking when it comes to this match, right? This would be the time where Jerry needs to shoulder press rather than flop wrist press, says Jody Williams here. Ethan says it could end up looking like Jerry versus Kurdecha. Someone else says, hell nah, the difference in explosiveness and side pressure is way too high. Tomer, who's also live in chat here, says 3 flash pins from Vitaly, easiest match of his entire career. Jerry can even slip from Vitaly, doesn't make a difference in straps or not though. A lot of people answering something that isn't relevant, it seems. And then Southern Maine Arm Wrestler coming in with Vitaly is too big and strong. So that kind of gives you a feel on what the greater Arm Historian viewership is thinking. But the real OGs here live in chat seems to have Larratt in 61% of you versus Caderet with 35% of the votes. Len says can't sleep on Jerry here. Lagia says Vitaly hits too much through the radial bone. He may not control Jerry's arm enough. Interesting. Amtrax Baru says I don't think Vitaly is going to get surprised by what Jerry is going to do. That's the big question, right? Has Vitaly actually learned from his match versus Dave, where famously at King of the Table, Dave took the match over Vitaly by flop wrist pressing, and Vitaly seemed woefully underprepared for even Dave's flop wrist press. And I think a lot of people kind of make the connection that Vitaly's Jerry's flop wrist press is way better than Dave's flop wrist press. So will Vitaly be able to deal with Jerry's press if he couldn't even deal with Dave's press? Personally, I do think Vitaly probably has learned from that match and has been preparing to face a very strong presser, right? He must have been preparing to face Jerry. So the question is, will he be caught off guard by how good Jerry's press is? Will Jerry even be able to set the press? Yeah, that's gonna dictate pretty obviously where the match will be going, right? I think Vitaly will do the same thing as he always does, but harder, says Lat Rousseau. Might be. Jerry won't even have time to get his tongue out. I hope he does have some time for that. Signature Jerry move. To be fair, Morozov did flop press Vitali, says Stomer. True. True. I think Jerry isn't without a chance here, if I'm being honest. I do think so. Like, at the end of the day, I still have Vitali here, especially Vitali in his current form. I think he's a smart enough puller to have adapted, given the time he's been given. Like, it's been quite a while. He's had time to prepare now. So yeah, I think Larratt probably coming in as the favorite, but Jerry definitely has an outside chance here to just flop through Vitali and hopefully kind of turn it into a long, grindy match. I would personally love to see that. Vitali is full-time now, says Tony Rizzo. I do think a full-time Vitali is a dangerous man. Jerry will either win 0 rounds or after 1 round wins all after that. Yeah, that's usually Jerry's MO, right? With these kinds of things. I think it will become clear very quickly whether Jerry is in like a winning mindset at all here. But yeah, that does conclude our predictions for East versus West 20, which will be happening on November 1st. Our last match here, chat has Larratt as the favorite, but Jerry did get 40% of the vote, so relatively close here. But Larratt taking the victory according to you guys. I'm personally looking forward to this event. I'm not sponsored, obviously, by East versus West. They've not contacted me to like promote the event or anything like that, but I do think this is one of the better events we've seen in quite a while, or at least it feels like quite a while. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this event. I might even do a live stream during the event, depending on a couple of factors. But yeah, looking forward to it a lot. Greatly enjoyed this talk, guys. I always enjoy these prediction live streams, just shooting the shit with you guys about the matches and potential outcomes. It's really fun to me. So yeah, I greatly appreciate you hanging out with me as every Sunday. Hit me up again next Sunday, same time, same place. I will be here. And there might even be a sneaky Halloween live stream in the works. So keep your eyes peeled for that and show up for that one if you can. In the meanwhile, I don't think he'll pick up his going live with the fix. So I hope you find another home for tonight. Until next Sunday. See you guys then. Bye-bye. Arm Historian, out of here.